Hello and welcome to part 2 of the 2 cent, 5 cent, no limit hold'em Zoom poker table strategy. When I last left, we were up about 2.5 buy-ins from the first half an hour, which was pretty good. We were getting lucky, we were hitting some nice hands, but we were also making some good value bets as well, if I don't mind saying so myself. Unfortunately, I had to wait for that other video to render, and it's kind of gone a bit south since then. This table and this table have just had no luck, and they're just bleeding chips a little bit. But these two have been doing okay. They're not doing too bad. So let's have a look here. All right. I was saying in my other video, I think that just like trying to talk while playing 4 tables at the same time can get really tough sometimes. So if I blabber, that's why. So here we've had the min raise, so I'm just going to call out of position with the ace jack, try and flop a hand, and we don't, so I'm just going to check, probably fold unless we get to see a free turn or river card. Here I hit pocket 2s in early position, so I'm going to go ahead and raise that up. Usually as a player playing Zoom you'd want to maximize your profit, so I should really reload these 2 tables here back up to $5 in order to get maximum value if a hand comes up, where, I end up doubling up from a bad player making a stupid move. But I just felt a bit unlucky in these 2 hands. One of them sucked out on the river on this one, and one sucked out, I think it was on the turn or river on this one, and an all-in situation. So I just kind of want to leave them for a bit, maybe get a double up before I reload, because I'm a little superstitious like that. I know that it's just kind of like you apply logic to the situation, so it's a bit stupid for me to say that, but I just don't feel like I want to recharge him yet and then lose a buy-in from like getting unlucky again. But that's just me being a little crazy. So we raised with the pocket 6s for the limper in the small blind, and that's a really safe flop. So we're going to go ahead and raise it. And he should call, which is what I expected to happen, and I'm putting him on a draw or possibly an overpair, but that turns really good for me. I can now only be losing to 6-7, and I just think that that's happening such a small percent of the time. So I'm going to re-raise here and try and get all the money in if I can. Maybe he's got a set, something like that. That's why I can imagine he's betting on the turn. So he flat calls and the hearts miss, and I'm pretty damn confident that I've got the best hand. So I'm just going to wait a little second in order to... Shit, I missed the ace jack, I timed out. And then I'm going to raise all in. And hopefully I get called, and yeah, so I was kind of right. I had an overpair, maybe a set. So we got a nice little double up there, which was lovely, which has put me back nearly to even on that table. Ace 8 on the cutoff is definitely going to be worth a raise, and I called the raise the cutoff with the pocket 4s on the button, hoping to flop one of them nasty little sets, but then we get re-raised by this piece of rubbish. Why can't I see a free flop? I love cheap flaps. Cheap flaps are so great. Alrighty-ho. Ooh, pocket 2s on the button. That's friendly. Fold the king queen there as a re-raise. I don't think it's worth calling. Ooh, pocket 2s in 2 instances, and we hit a lovely little set over here. Come on, yeah, bet. That's lovely. So now that he's bet, we want to try and get it all in here. So I'm going to put in a small raise to try and see where I stand in the hand, because he's always calling with a draw there. That 3 I don't think changes anything. So considering I think he's on a draw, going to try and take the pot down now with a $1 bet. He flat calls and we get quads on the river. Now it's kind of a complicated situation because we just have to try and put him on a hand here, and we have to figure how to get max value. So if he doesn't have a draw, if he had a misdraw, he's just going to fold to this bet anyway. It's irrelevant. So I'm going to try and put him on ace 7, which I think can call about 150 here. Or maybe pocket 8s, pocket 9s, and he flat calls, and we take down a really nice pot there. Let's try and find out what he had. So we had pocket 10, so unfortunately I think I made the wrong move there. I think I probably could have shoved and he could have called an all-in there. I think he's calling an all-in a lot of the time. But, you know, I mean, I tried to put him on a hand, and that was the hand range I put him on, possible overpair, possible ace-7, and I felt that those hands are calling, you know, half a pot bet on the river, you know, nearly 100% of the time. So here I make a raise and I get a re-raise, and I'm sitting here with jacks. So I'm just going to flat call, see a flop, and reevaluate. So what I'm going to do here is I want to basically be very careful of my hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to check. I felt like I was going to bet there, but I'm just going to check and see how much he bets, and he bets 50. See, now I think it's a good opportunity to do a check raise here, because that just shows a lot of strength. And so you can see there he got a fold, so he's going to fold a lot of hands post flop to my bet. So by checking I can get a lot of hands to bluff, and then I can raise and therefore get value that I might not normally get if I was just flat betting on that flop. And also by making that move I can then fold to a re-raise, you know, because I can know that my jacks are not going to be good like a lot of the time if I get re-raised after check raising. So I think it's and then if he checks on the flop I can be pretty confident that jacks are good anyway, as long as an ace, king or queen doesn't come off on the turn. So I think it's a very good situation when you're out of position on a flop like that in order to play it as a check raise. And yeah, and you know, I mean, luckily there it worked out almost perfectly for me. So here we hit top pair, so we're going to put a nice little bet. The ace queen's missed and he's raised, so we're just going to flat out fold. That queen doesn't really worry me too much. I'm not really scared of that. And then I hit 2 pair on the river. I'm not too worried about a 4, so I'm just going to bet, and he folds, value betting. Here I've got an overpair, so I'm going to bet half the pot with 2 plays in. So we had a check call. I'm not too worried about that ace. It kind of felt like he was on a draw, but we're just going to check the turn river, because I just didn't think I could get a lot of value from hands that would call the flop and check turn the river, because it's possible he would have hit a jack on the river as well. I don't know how. Sorry, I'm just thinking myself. Alright, Jack 9 in position against a limper. Come on. Of course I'm re-raising. I mean, I'm raising there. Of course I am. I kind of like that flop. I kind of feel like I can actually bet at this flop a lot of the time when he limps in onto the small blind and he's going to fold. But that consideration means he's called, and I've made a terrible decision. But I've hit a couple of jacks on the turn, which could be good. He could have been sitting there with like 2 5 of hearts. Oh, he's thinking. Thinking means betting. No. Do I take it down? Oh, he did. He had 2 lower hearts, eh? That's nice, isn't it? Alright, so we get ace queen in the cutoff. I'm going to go ahead and raise. Ace 3 in the cutoff. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and raise that. So, alright, let's raise on the button. Fold to that re-raise. Raise here. Ugh. Ace queen out of position. I hate calling re-raises with. When you play, if I'm in position, I'd probably call it instantly, but calling out of position, I hate it, so I'm actually just going to let it go there. Again, I said, like, it might be wrong to fold there in a lot of circumstances, but I want to avoid marginal situations where, you know, I just don't really know where I stand, and I just kind of felt that by calling ace queen out of position, it would just put me on a difficult decision on the flop, turn and river a lot of the time, so I just felt like folding it. I just didn't want to play it. Alright, so I'm going to call the 5s. I think I can only take these videos up to 10 minutes, I'm not sure, so I'm probably going to stop after this video. Oh, kings. Oh, you've only got like 10 seconds. Re-raise with the kings. In the small blind, I think was a good shout, and he folds. We're going to just sit out after the 5-6, 10-5 no good, and I will call a re-raise with the sixes. Yep, and try and flop a set. No flop set, so we're just going to probably check and fold unless we can hit the turn or river. Ooh, 10's a bit light. I don't know. I felt like calling there. I felt like 10 was just a bit too light. This is where I end up calling the river for like 20 cents and it's actually sitting there with an ace. Alright, 56 range, put better. And fold.